Welcome to Objections with Stan Willis. I'm Michael Morris. And today, Stan Willis, I brought a little fire with me. You came in here steaming hot.
I did, yes.
I brought somebody else in here that's going through the same thing you're going through. Not at home. His wife fears him. It's not the other way around.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you mean by that.
I was going to say, I'm not really sure what he means either, but
he's probably
right.
I thought I'd do, what's that movie?
You sure you want to stay now, Jonathan?
I mean,
He doesn't have a choice. Nate locks both goddamn doors. You can't get in or out once you're in here.
Can we get some video of Jonathan trying to escape?
So the reason
I just have a maniacal laugh.
The reason I wanted to bring you into this trap was that something recently has happened that affects God damn it, get that thing off the edge. Just for the people listening, Stan has once again put his drink right on the edge, and when that goes right into his Doc Martens, I'm not going to care. So there was a local radio station that we advertise on. I run the spots. You guys are on the spots. Indeed. And they fired their morning show after 10 years.
I heard that.
So I thought, well, I'll just fill these guys in. Shouldn't be a big deal. They'll get a new morning show that goes away. No, it did not. So now there is a boycott. Fuck them, they don't listen. Boycott the Blitz, 99.7 the Blitz, without naming names. So the morning show gets fired, and they are just
Did you offer our services for the morning show?
Here's the thing. I wanted to, but I just thought, how weird would it be when we go in to do events and they're going to do our car show for Speak for the Unspoken.
Right.
It'd be great if while they were there.
We're doing our car show.
Right. We could just take everybody's statement while they come to the car show to support the dogs.
yeah.
Now, the reason that Jonathan Meanick, John E. Cash, is here is because
Johnny
he's
Cash.
also part of this.
Wait, you're not wearing black.
No, I know. I'm not the man in black.
Come on, man.
His wife is. But what I wanted to say is, I said to Jonathan, this list on Facebook is growing of boycotting companies, and Stan, the man, your company was on there.
My company was on the list, yes.
And Jonathan says, wait, was I on there? And I said, not yet, but it's coming.
I'm just saying, if you want to be with the cool kids, you got to be cool. That's
right.
saying.
Well, my question starting with this is for Jonathan, this is your... I literally told you right before we started this, and your eyes lit up like, but you didn't look like you were upset about it. You were like, no, just mention me.
Yeah.
Right?
Hey, I've heard that any publicity is good publicity.
I tell you that all the time.
Listen,
this could be the best thing for us ever.
100%.
Here's what I'm trying to...
This is the closest to paparazzi I will ever be.
Yeah. Like, you are...
Nobody's chasing me down.
This is your Kim Kardashian moment. This is your sex tape.
Oh, nice.
People are going to talk about this forever.
Well, this got weird.
Nobody.
The doors are locked, and this is a sex
the
tape.
weird part is when Nate edits parts of the video into this. But the views are going to be amazing. Jonathan, your feeling about being potentially boycotted, how do you feel?
Like
you as a person.
I don't care. I mean, listen, so in my business, I work with people that I want to work with. And if someone doesn't like me, that's okay. There's 8 million other financial advisors you can go work with. So it doesn't bother me one bit. And it was really funny as I was talking to my wife last night after dinner, and we were talking about how there's going to be some turnover. There's going to be people retiring in Pickaway County, and I'm not going to be able to take on all of those clients. Like, we desperately need people to come in and do the work.
Fine, I'll do it.
Yeah, you're hired. So,
I'm already an attorney by day. I'll do that at night.
You're a financial advisor, but not my financial advisor.
Yeah.
Right?
And just think, who wouldn't take financial advice from this?
No, look at this guy.
I literally just be by Disney. Isn't it tanking? It's the only one I know. It's the DIS.
Yeah.
Am I even right about that?
Yes, they own. You are
by Disney.
Nailed it.
You heard it first.
They own Marvel and they own Star Wars. What else do you want?
And they also have sex trafficking.
Well,
they don't advertise that, but it gets in the news. I just want to point that out. Don't buy all of it. Just buy enough of it to make some money.
Buy the portion that doesn't involve the sex trafficking.
Or at least a portion that doesn't provide the bus.
Yeah. There you go. So anyways, I was talking about how like I can't work with everybody. And so like when you mentioned this, it's like, okay, well, I mean, I've already got more than enough clients. Like,
but so when I get this from Stan's, let's just say our marketing team, I don't get an explanation. I get a screenshot of these two things. And I'm like, shit, So I'm like, I gotta talk to Stan, but
So-
Stan's on the phone.
He didn't even know we scooped him. We figured it out before he did.
Well, I wasn't on social media. I was out trying to cure cancer and run some ads, and this
I'm
guy's
sure you were.
on Facebook.
So-
The guy who's never on
So
Facebook.
I'm actually a media person.
Yeah, right. That's right. You
See,
don't run a law
I'm a
firm.
media person. I'm a consultant. I'm a media consultant.
There you go.
But here's the thing. I don't know if he's seen it yet. Okay.
Yeah.
I just get it sent to me, and I'm like, well, I got to call him.
You got
They're
it
like-
from Jenny, right?
Yes.
That's right. Because
I was trying to leave names out.
I mean, does it all just say, "Hey, we're boycotting these companies," or what? Like, what's the gist?
There's
of it?
there's the call for the boycott of the station
Okay.
because of the termination of the morning
Yeah.
DJs.
The
And then underneath that, there's not only should we boycott the station, which I guess how do they know if you boycott the radio station? You're just driving with your car on a different channel, right?
right. Yeah. So your ratings go down.
But so
okay.
Right.
so they
BFE.
also want to boycott all of the
people that pay.
people that pay advertising
Sure.
to advertise
Yeah.
on the Blitz. And I mean, like we advertise on numerous
Right. I mean,
different
we're on 10 different stations.
stations.
Okay.
So it's
This
not
is like peeing in the corner of a pool. It eventually might get to you, but no one's gonna know for about an hour.
But the humorous thing is the number one thing on the list is Wendy's. So they're asking
Yeah.
everybody to stop buying their freaking chicken nuggets at Wendy's and go to
Right.
Colonel Sanders or somebody else. I don't know. But
Well, the thing is like, so as a capitalist, I support people's right to do that.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely.
If you want to boycott something or you want to cancel something, use your dollars and go do that. Right. But don't make a big deal about it. I mean, Jesus Christ, like
But
get over yourself.
at the end of the day, this is essentially this is an employment dispute between the radio station and their two morning personalities, and you hear rumors about what happened. So there's rumors about what happened, and I don't have the facts. I don't know what happened, but it's none of my business.
Right. Yeah.
Right. This is none of my business. It's purely between the radio station and the disc jockeys. And, I guess people like radio personalities and there's a following, and I get that. And that's all great. But
At the end of the day, it's a business.
it's a business decision.
Yeah.
And I don't think it'll work. I don't think the radio station's going to hire
the
these
reality.
people back. Because
How many times have someone said, boycott big oil, and in the meantime,
I haven't bought gasoline in 30 years because
I
of that,
know,
you prick.
right? Well, it's because you're stealing it from the police officers. At
That's
night,
nothing-
he goes to
I didn't
Grove
say I don't
City.
use it. I said I don't pay for
At
it.
night, he goes to Grove City Police Headquarters. He's siphoning gas.
Hey,
out of
shout out to the boys in blue. The other day they shot somebody. Good job, guys. Now he was innocent, but good job protecting our streets.
how do
But
you know he was?
so like
It was in the
people-
news.
he did something.
Oh, he can't tell us if he did it now anyway.
So when I was a kid, my dad when I would get in trouble for something that I didn't do, and if he figured it out that I actually didn't do it, it'd be like, well, just apply that to something I don't know about.
Well, they were going to ask him. Unfortunately, the guy went into a lead coma, so we can't really
what
answer
what
it.
is that? Apply that to something I don't know about.
Apply it to your next one.
Aren't you supposed to say, hey, I'm sorry,
Right. Sorry for whooping your ass.
I was wrong for beating you senseless. And yeah, that never happened.
Stan, it was a different time as the 90s.
Yeah.
It was the
But I mean, my point was that all these keyboard warriors, let's just use big oil as an example, that they're typing it out on their iPhones that are made from plastic, which is a petroleum-based product.
right.
It's like, how far are you really willing to go to boycotts? How strong are your beliefs? I don't think they're that strong.
I don't think they are either. What I'm saying is in this, because that's a great point. What I'm saying is this world, you start off with the keyboard warrior. It's not that it's going to affect business. It is, why is the name of this company getting out there? What did they have to do with it? The
Right.
last thing I want is for Stan to be hanging out with his family or something, and someone goes punch him inside the head like, you canceled our favorite show, and he'd be like,
Right.
what show is that? I don't even know. Power 107? Which
I don't even
station?
know who you are.
Well, and ultimately, as an advertiser on the station, to your point, we have no say in this decision. It's not like
Yeah, they didn't call me about it.
if I knew the name of the person to call
Right.
over there, who I'm pretty sure it's not the person I know, but if I knew the name of the person to call and called them and said, "Hey, hire those guys back," they'd be like, "Who are you?"
Yeah. They would say, say Bill, and you'd say it's Stan, and they'd say whatever. Did you drop off the check?
So, right. So it's not like there's any influence there, and it's kind of funny because you see on a national scale, you'll see the big money advertisers trying to coerce like NFL teams and stuff like that by pulling their support because of some public thing, but. On the fact that we advertise on the Blitz and like Jonathan said, about 10. Is it
We're
about
on
10?
11 total?
We are on
this
11
is the drop
total
in the bucket.
We're on 11 total radio stations. That doesn't mean that we endorse everything that the radio station does. What that means is that you have listeners that I want to get a message to.
Right.
So I'm using you to get a message
conduit
to your listeners. If you're a butthead, I really don't care. I just want to talk to your listeners.
That actually is the commercial we're running right now. If you're a butthead, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
Willis attorneys.
Well, it's great that we now have a tagline.
Hey, if you're just an all-out dick, we don't want your business. But okay, let me take this to the next level. So this is
stupid, and I don't care anymore.
First of all, do you know how many comments I've got about that? They love that, and they love Kelly being in the spot. Stan's
I
wife.
tried to talk her to come back today, but she said no.
Listen, it went extremely well. I think we should count our victory and move on. Like
She'll come back eventually.
what we should have done when we were done recording was had the George Bush mission accomplished thing behind
Yes.
it, and then we would have destroyed everything after that. She would never come back. So my question about so we're kind of experiencing this on a very minute level, but what you were talking about the NFL and all that stuff, there are people that want to boycott the Browns because of Deshaun Watson. It's not going to matter. Those are billion-dollar businesses. You're not going to affect their bottom line at all.
Right.
Right. So when we talked on the phone yesterday, you're like, well, let's just write it out for a week and see what happens. What would be the thing that would be like so?
Is that what I said?
Well, you were probably drinking at the time, but yes. And I was canoodling with a young lady.
It was 2:30.
Yeah. In your defense, you had just gotten to work, so I don't want to walk somewhere. I don't want to make it look bad, but I was trying to think like what would be the worst thing.
Hey, that bottle of Jameson's that's drinking itself.
Yeah, you know when you got to drink it all because once you unseal it, it goes bad like grapes. You know what I mean? You got to get it all in.
Well, and this is weird thing you don't know about me, but my body doesn't create alcohol by itself, so I have to supplement. I actually have a deficiency.
If I don't get this in my body, I can't fall down over and over. But what would be the level? Like if I had called you, Jonathan, and I said, well, so they murdered someone on the morning show. The good news is they got your spots in. Like what would make you say like, I got to pull off of there, like at least for a week?
That's a good question. I don't know, man. The thing is, you've got to dissociate the employee versus the employer, right? So like with the Blitz, as an example, I don't know that I would like if the Blitz themselves were, I don't know, trafficking children, I'd probably say, it might be time to pull those dollars.
What if they're making money off it? You're a capitalist. I mean, that's commerce.
Wow. But the problem is like when you break federal laws, and then that's.
I see. This is why I invest my money with you because you won't break the rules a little bit.
Well, there's pretty clear standards for
I'm just glad now I realize I asked Jonathan if I could buy the ruble when it was falling apart, and he wouldn't let me. This was in the height of the war starting.
You act like it's rebounded. It's still falling apart. It was
better than crypto for a little while, for 3 days. We could have made a mountain of money. We would have been in prison for being a traitor.
Hey, by the way, did you hear about, there was a company, I know this is completely off topic. There was a company.
What was the topic?
So, yeah, good question. So there was a company that yesterday went public on NASDAQ, and it was like a really, really tiny company. It was up 13,000% yesterday.
Why didn't you advise us to buy that?
Well, because I didn't know.
Jonathan buys it for himself. You guys should have been in on this.
You guys should have done this. No, they got ties to China, and are we allowed to say China anymore?
We're allowed to say China, but we have to say good things about China.
Oh, okay.
Or no, bad things. Where are we at in this, Nate?
How well
thumbs
they
up or thumbs down on China?
I really never.
Nate says he loves China.
I never use
propagate
good
viruses.
China.
Listen, I threw out all my plates because I was so anti-China.
Really?
And I didn't realize they were plastic. And
You
it doesn't
start
fucking
throwing away stuff that's made in China. You might not have much.
I was going to say, I mean, you're wearing shoes.
Well,
so.
I've got firewood. That's about all I got.
I stopped
Grew that
talking
in the backyard.
I stopped talking to the kid I just found out about because of China. Anyway, so when you are hearing this news, because this morning again you got all bright-eyed about it.
I thought it was fun.
Here's the way I look at it. Any news is news, right? It's not good or bad. I just would like to be mentioned in there too, because I do a lot of work and there could be advertisers like, fuck these guys.
Well, honestly, here's what I think about it is like, if everyone starts boycotting the Blitz, they're going to need more advertisers.
Right.
And those dollars are going to get cheap.
Yes.
All right. Double down,
Here's
man.
what I told them to do.
Take my money, buy double.
I told them to, because the phone won't stop ringing and they have to answer it because there's like 10 lines. And it's people just screaming, and whoever picks up the phone. And I said, record those. And they go, for what? And I go, because what I would do is say Stan's the new morning guy. I would do with the green screen thing like we do, and it'd be Stan going, can't wait to get started on the Blitz, blah, blah, blah. Let's hear from our audience. And then someone going, you piece of shit. And they go, well, obviously that's not good. Well, just move on. Because I would sell that. And they're literally like, that's a great idea. And of course they won't do it because it would look bad.
Right.
It's radio. You're a bunch of C+ students at best. Do something entertaining.
And besides that, it's radio, so
Can't see
looking bad is kind of part of the problem.
Right.
Yeah. If you work at a radio station, you're not in morning drive, you make $20,000, you're 43 and you're divorced. It doesn't matter. Do something entertaining. And that's the problem is, I think this would be a bigger deal 10 years ago. Like when I was at the Blitz 20 years ago and we had Howard Stern, every day there was a protest. Mothers groups and all that stuff, and they were writing letters. And that's what I said to Stan is, until we get to there writing you letters, then we have to worry about it.
Well, the problem is that most people aren't taught to write in school anymore, so they can't really write letters.
Write a letter. Huh?
They can type you a text.
Could you imagine? But they have to have your phone number.
Whatever this language they've created.
Yeah.
From texting.
You just get a bunch of winky emojis and
Yeah.
like cucumbers. Wait, what?
BRB and
You start saying, what does TLGMCK mean?
That's those people that were fighting for the right to get married.
Oh, is that what it
Oh,
was?
is that what those are?
I think so. I just see the flag. I thought it was,
say
I thought it was the
I
Irish
totally
flag.
made that up off the top
They've
of my
got a lot
head.
of flags running around.
So I just looked at it like I tried to call everybody or text them and say, just so you know that not the boycotting thing. I kind of wanted to pick up. I got to be honest with you.
It's
I want to
entertaining.
see. Again, it's
Gives
the
you
most,
something to talk about, you know.
that show was on for 10 years, and this is the most entertaining thing they've ever done.
Again, I think we should be approached and
You and I,
should be
as
given-
counsel, should
I think-
represent them.
well, no. We should be approached for the morning show. And
That would be great.
Jonathan would be.
Hell yeah,
man.
Jonathan could
Volunteer
be.
me.
Jonathan could be in there.
I could totally do a morning show.
So we would do. Yeah,
Well, you
no,
gotta
I mean,
be there at
6:20 sounds
5:30.
They were getting there at 6:22.
6:22 is a much better
Apparently,
time for
we
me.
can negotiate that. Like, let's start at 7.
We'll be on for an hour.
I just thought so.
Do we have to play music?
Well, that's the other thing. Can you imagine? Like, you got to play this. So I have to play corn. I have to play all this. Every once in a while, I just put in like a Tennessee Ernie Ford in there just to see if anybody actually is listening. But when I was thinking about this
All of a
because
sudden ratings go up.
I think we should do like
Hear that
Old
banjo.
Crow Medicine Show and some good bluegrass in there.
There you go.
That'd be
So-
freaking
But,
awesome.
well, here's the funny part. 2 stations have asked me if we want to put this show. Sorry, when I realize it's this show on their stations.
We do.
So it's called block programming, and so we talked about it. But I realized this show is 7 minutes long if you take out all of our bullshit and swearing.
So
It's not a problem, except they got to run 53 minutes of commercials.
well, they don't need to do that. They can just run our whole show.
You want them to run all 50-some episodes and just piece together the best bits? Actually, that'd
That's
be
a
one
great
great
idea.
weekend.
Compilation
Yeah.
of some of the best.
We could do this show like every day.
You know how Nate would literally flip out if we had to do this every day. He has to listen to this twice. He has to listen to it now and then edit it
He's
for
gonna
YouTube.
edit it.
That's what he gets most of his education from this. That's
Yes, but he would want money. Nate would have enough money that
Yeah. Except the stock tips. You know, go buy that Chinese
You know,
company.
before Nate met us, he was a thin guy with no facial hair.
His life was together. Now he looks like those people that can't get on a bus, but they're by the bus stop.
He had everything under control, right?
Every time I drive by the IHOP in Stringtown, he's sitting out in the,
I do like whenever I call him because he goes, hello. Like almost like he thinks back to the time he gave me his phone number. It's like, hello, hello. Yeah.
this asshole.
Moments in life you'd like to take back. Sure, Mike, here's my number.
I think that we got to take this to the next step, but like we don't do any bits. We don't play any music. We just do this for 4 hours.
Okay.
Now they only.
Joe Rogan does it. It works for him.
Well, yeah. If you get alcohol and weed involved, you can do anything for 4 hours.
This is a business, sir. Oh, you mean Rogan? I thought you meant that was our pitch to them.
No,
don't pay us, but we're going to be fucked up.
yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to pay us. You just have to provide the
We're going to be
liquor.
freebasing this over in the corner. We'll do a 12-hour show. It doesn't matter. I thought you meant just go in there like no negotiating. Like we don't even want to be paid. This is for the people.
No, we totally want to be paid.
Yeah, I mean,
I need at least enough to cover parking.
The good news is the lot is free. I think we get one half of a show done and be walked out like I almost said the name of the show. It won't matter because they're going to be in Atlanta by the time that this runs.
Right.
So here's another question I'd have. They're a client. I want to go to Jonathan first. You're their financial advisor. And they call you and say, we just got shit canned and we lost about $350,000. At what point do you stop taking their phone calls so they can't take their money out? Like, what would your advice be?
Realistically, I don't because, I'm not legally allowed to do that. Like, if someone calls me and says, hey, I want my money.
No, I'm just kidding.
I
But
have
they're
an
a client.
obligation.
What would your advice be?
My advice would have been, I hope
So
you guys
have
saved.
You have to give them back their money.
If someone calls me for a sell, I
Really?
have to. Yeah, I can't refuse a sell order.
That sucks.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily, because if someone's calling to sell, it's like, all right, well,
Don't
they
you-
should have been a client anyways.
You're not like the bank where you just go, I'd like to give you that money back, but I really want to keep it.
Have you thought about opening a $50 checking account?
Yeah.
No, honestly, I take the opposite approach. Like I tell people very honestly, I want to help you spend your money, but want to do it smartly and not waste it. Right. So for me, that wouldn't be an issue. But my advice to them would have been the whole time is, I hope you're saving your money when you're not employed. I hope you're saving your money when you're not employed.
What's funny about that is I was at an event, Monster Jam. I don't know
But
if
the
anyone.
best time to spend money is when you're not employed.
Right, you got all the time
you
in the
get
world.
all day.
Yeah, you can shop on Amazon constantly.
You can
Order all kinds of sex toys and have them shipped to the university. Oh wait, I'm
I
sorry.
like that you went right to there. Did you say right to the university?
No, I didn't say that.
So now we're talking about what he would do.
Right?
I feel like Jonathan told us way too much, way too early.
I did not say anything about a university.
I'm thinking with
You did.
DoorDash, you can get anything delivered to you. He's talking about sex toys over
Can you
here.
go get me some onion rings and a bunch of shit that vibrates?
Must be. Must be pretty lively down there in Asheville.
Yes.
Now I know why
We
he
got to do
said
something. But it's either that or heroin, man.
don't sit in
just-
that office.
You can hear the banjos playing as you start in there.
He's just staring out at a field of cows.
You got a pretty mouth.
Well, Stan, before we run out of time, though, I want to ask you if you're an advertiser of the station. If they called you,
If they called me,
is that a
station?
conflict of no? Well, either way, if the station or the people that got fired, because that's an employment situation. Is
I
that
don't
a
think
conflict?
I don't think it's technically a conflict of interest either way. Would be for us, but we probably wouldn't step into it. We don't do employer side work anyway. We only do employee side work.
But would
So if
you?
the station called, he says, I tell him to fuck off. But if it were the gentleman, he'd be like, yeah.
But see, this is so in my.
I don't know because it wouldn't be my call. It'd be
that's
Jason's
true.
our
Yeah.
employment attorney, so he would be getting the call. So I probably wouldn't even know if they called, but
I'm just thinking they hear that spot 12 times a day, every day. And if you're like, we need a lawyer, who would we get? Wendy's. Like,
well,
Let's call a financial advisor. Maybe they'll have some legal advice.
They do have burgers at Wendy's, and we don't typically have burgers
Fresh,
at
never
a law
frozen,
firm.
man.
see, advertising does work.
I can't
It does
promise.
work.
I can't promise that burgers we have at the office wouldn't have been frozen at some point.
I can't even say that about some of your employees. There's some stiffs down there.
Some frozen. What?
Frozen employees.
Yeah.
Come
You
on,
should see them.
you love
They
all of
walk
our
on eggshells.
employees.
I do. But when I'm walking through there, I notice head down. It kind of reminds me of like, in Alcatraz, just put your tray in front of you. Just kidding. It's not that bad.
Since when? You sure you were in
joking.
my office?
I don't never know where I really am. I could have been at the
dude.
car wash with Hugh.
I think you were probably at school with your daughter or something.
You should see the teachers there. That's a whole nother show.
Is it? You like the lunch ladies? You a big lunch lady fan?
Well, I do like to eat.
He likes that sloppy Joe.
My problem is I
Sloppy
can't
Joe.
remember anybody's name. So when you introduce me, like literally I just blank and I'm like, yeah, nice to meet you. And I never think about it. And then those people, especially teachers, hi, I'm Mrs. Such and such. Great. And they repeat it and I go, great.
No, don't worry about it. I'm
And
not
then
gonna
my
remember.
daughter's always like, Miss Davis, who's that? I have no idea. Is that your 5th grade teacher? Oh, you're in high school? Okay, well, that's fine.
Whatever you tell me.
All right, so we've settled a few things today. Stan will not represent the Blitz for firing people. Jonathan will still take your money.
100%.
And we're going to do a morning show, probably a Sunday morning show starting at 11 o'clock at night. You've been listening to Objections with Stan Willis. We'll see you next week.